So with all of the movie news down and out of the way, now it's time to open up the Gotta Love Them Movies mailbag. Something that, I tried to do earlier, but now it is actually time for. So here you go, the Gotta Love Them Movies mailbag. Right, you guys, we are going to take your previously emailed questions, and if you want to get a question through the mailbag on the show, go ahead and send me an email at GottaLoveThemMovies@gmail.com, and just, let me know what's on your mind. Is there a piece of news that I missed? Is there something that's not on my radar, something that I'm not aware of, something that maybe you heard on Twitter or Instagram or, Facebook, because we all know the internet never lies to us. It's all truth all the time. So send me an email at GottaLoveThemMovies@gmail.com. I want to know what's on your mind. Is there any main topics that you want to discuss? Anything that you have a question about? Let me know. I'll research it and we'll talk about it. Okay, so with that, moving on, we only have 2 emails for the day. So email number 1 comes to us from Reed from Salt Lake City, Utah, and Reed says, "Hey Mike, did you see this last weekend that videos and set photos came out from Mission Impossible 7 of Tom Cruise jumping a BMX bike off of a ramp, then being caught mid-air by a wire? If so, what kind of stunt do you think they're gearing up for? And don't you think it's a bit small when compared to the massive stunts the franchise has come to be familiar with, like the Halo jump or the hanging off of an airplane stunt?" And yes, for anyone who is not familiar with what Reed is talking about, this is a really interesting kind of. For me, it's a breath of fresh air. I love Mission Impossible. I dare say that I like Mission Impossible better than I like James Bond right now. That may change. That may change. But for the here and now, the Mission Impossible franchise has been more consistent with its quality, and I feel that they are producing better action, better stunts, more interesting things to do with their franchise, and I will go so far as to say that the last 2 movies, Rogue Nation and Fallout, are a better version or incarnation of what was the last movie? Spectre, James Bond Spectre. Specifically, when you compare Spectre against Fallout, I believe they came out the same year, which is, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was the only year that both a Mission Impossible movie and a James Bond movie were released in the same year, I believe. You can fact check me on that, but I believe. So, Mission Impossible 7 is back in production in Norway, I believe. And here, let me go ahead and play. I'm going to show you, a couple of set photos. Here's a set photo that Christopher McQuarrie, the director of the film, posted on his Instagram over the weekend. And this is a massive ramp. If you couldn't already tell, it's a huge ramp that just kind of goes off into the void, overlooking these majestic mountains through the north of Norway. If we move on, I don't know who this is. Zach Meshiel? Who knows who this person is? But on his Twitter,
if you're Facebook friends with him, tag him down below, and we'll ask him.
Oh, that'd be great. Great idea.
Yeah.
Or on Twitter, somebody tag him on Twitter and say, "Hey, Zach Meshiel, Meshiel." Again, who knows who this guy is? Who knows where he's from? But he posted this, the following video. There's no audio, so I'm just going to go ahead and play this for you. He posted this video on his Twitter. Now, this is Tom Cruise. It's possible that some of these shots are of a stuntman, but given some of the shots that are coming up, you can see fairly close up, it is Tom Cruise himself doing these stunts. He is driving a motorbike off of a ramp into a massive gorge, into a huge ravine, and then he opens up a parachute and he lands right there. You can see there are clearer shots, not in this particular photo or not in this particular video. There are other shots of Tom Cruise's face close up in the parachute, and it is him.
Thanks.
David, what were
Yeah.
what were you just about to say?
Huh? Oh, I was just thinking, like, I don't know if anyone's seen him since then, but maybe he landed safely down in that valley between the mountains and got
I
lost.
mean, there's
Like, what
there
would
are
that be
no news reports of Tom Cruise dying over this weekend, so
Right.
presumably he was
Yeah,
safe.
he'd just be
Yeah.
missing. Yeah, I don't know. If this is just the last video anyone's seen of him, I don't know. Also, I just looked it up. He's a year younger than my dad, and I can't see my dad riding a motorcycle at all, or riding a motorcycle off of a cliff.
Wow.
That'd
Now
be
that's
awesome.
incredible. Okay, so we've seen this video a couple of times now. Let's jump back. Reed, I want to go back to your question for a second, because in your question, you said that he drives a BMX bike off of a ramp and then he's caught midair by a wire. That him being caught by a wire is not in this video. There are other videos online of him being caught by a wire. I assume the wire work is one of two things: either A, just him practicing or leading up to the actual jumping off the motorcycle and opening his parachute, or two, it's possible that this is going to be a series of shots. I have a feeling that this particular stunt that he's doing is not it's not going to be the big stunt of the movie. I don't think it's the big stunt. It might be. I don't think it's the big stunt. Each Mission Impossible movie, they try to outdo themselves, try to make it bigger and better and crazier and crazier. Once he was literally hanging off the side of the tallest building in the world in Dubai. The next movie he, was attached to an airplane as it took off. And then in the last movie, he did the halo jump, like for real, something that only special ops people in the military do, which is extremely dangerous. So in this movie, so far, all we know is that he's on a motorbike. He jumps off into a ramp. He, lets his parachute go and whatever. I have a couple of thoughts, Dave. Can I call you Dave?
Sure.
I have a
Go for it.
few thoughts. Are you familiar? Do you remember the movie GoldenEye? With Pierce Brosnan. It was 1995. It was Pierce Brosnan's first outing as James Bond, and in the opening sequence, there's that moment where James Bond takes his motorcycle, jumps off of a cliff, and then just kind of floats and maneuvers through the air until he gets inside of the airplane, and then he pulls the airplane up and then flies to safety. Da 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 da. It's possible this might be a similar situation. Where Ethan Hunt needs to catch some kind of an airplane or, get away from the bad guy or something. So, I mean, obviously he's jumping off in order to either get to safety or get away from safety. The other thought that is flowing through my mind is this is going to be a series of shots where he jumps his BMX bike off of the ramp. And then we see him floating through the air doing this thing. We see him floating through the air doing that thing. It's possible that there's going to be a series of cuts where he does high-flying, death-defying type stunts on his own, but cut together in the context of the movie will create a bigger and better sequence than what we're just seeing here. Do you have any other thoughts? What could this mean? What is this?
Yeah. I mean, I would expect it to be him being chased by somebody, some bad guys or something. He's got to get away from them. But it's totally possible that he's just, riding his motorcycle and then realizes, oh no, this bridge isn't complete. I have to bail now. Luckily, I have my parachute on me. It's like the.
I love the idea that, oh no, the bridge isn't complete. What do I do? Good thing I've got this parachute on me.
Yeah. I should have learned Norwegian. That's what those signs are saying.
That would be brilliant. But he's Ethan Hunt, so I don't know.
Yeah, probably would know, or someone on his team would at least tell him, "Hey, the bridge is out." But yeah. So the video that I saw of him like with the wire on his back, they said he like practiced like 4 times jumping the motorcycle off of the bridge, but without the
Hmm.
parachute. So they launched at least 4 motorcycles like just into that valley, and I hope that somebody went and recovered them and they're not just sitting there in a tree
On
somewhere.
some of the videos, they show
Yeah.
like a cable or a line attached to the motorcycle
Right.
as it's also attached
Oh,
to Tom
okay.
Cruise. So I would assume that the motorcycle goes off the bridge, and then they just kind of like hoist it back
Right.
to where it should
Okay.
be. Anyway,
There's a pile of motorcycles
that would
on
be
the
wonderful.
valley
That
floor.
would actually be kind of a great experiment. Have you seen the YouTube channel How Ridiculous? Where they just
No.
like drop stuff off of a huge. Sometimes they go to like around the world to these massive cliffs and just drop
Right.
things. They'll drop a car, or maybe they'll have like a giant axe, like a giant axe, and they'll drop a car on the axe to see if will the car split in two, or will it just like
Right.
stop
Yeah.
on the axe or whatever. I don't know. Maybe they're doing something like that. Let's see how many times we can
Yeah.
get this motorcycle to land in the same spot every single time. Question is, guys, have you seen all of these set photos and videos of Tom Cruise jumping off of a cliff into a massive ravine in the middle of Norway? What do you think about that? Do you think it's crazy? Do you think this is going to be the big stunt of the movie? I personally don't think so. I think they're going to keep the big stunt of the movie a little more secretive. This is just day one. This is day one of coming back to production after the coronavirus shutdown, lockdown. So I think this is their kind of way of saying, hey, look, we're getting back into production. We are, excited about this. We hope you're excited about this. Let's keep this buzz going. What are your thoughts about that? Do you
Yeah.
think there's going to be a bigger stunt later on, or do you think this is it? Do you think they're going to cut all of these scenes together to create one big massive
Right.
thing? Jump on down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. All right, guys.